Welcome once again to Aldila Wellness, where we talk about wellness per se. And last week we spoke about sexual, not only the intercourse, but the sexual feelings that one can experience.
Yeah, sexual wellness.
Well, you can call it that as well, yeah. Now, emotional wellness connected to the sexual part's also important. And we touched on, I'm feeling tired. That's actually an emotional part. And there's a saying that women can't be intimate with someone that they don't have a feeling for.
Yeah. When we are done with this show, I'm going to tell you one of my sayings, but we can't say it on the air. I'm going to have to book a consultation
session for that.
Yeah.
Okay, but how does female emotion regarding the sexual part work?
What is important is that as females, we need to understand that it is our responsibility to take control of our sexual wellness. And a sexual woman, or a woman that is connected to her sexual or goddess energy, is an empowered woman. And in the body, there are various energy centers that you can actually see when you do an MRI. And at the bottom here of the pubic bone, it's the first energy center, and that is connected to feeling safe. Okay. In my body and on the planet. And the first two energy centers that are here in the pelvic region hold very close to feeling safe and supported. And the second energy center has got to do with creativity. Now, if you think of a woman and a woman's body, a woman has a womb, a basket, a man has a sword, and a pijl en boog. So if we want to go into the archetypes, but a woman receives the seed and a baby is woven and she grows that baby inside of her body. But women are the birthers of change. And as that baby grows inside of your womb, creation is being repeated. So if you think of creativity and creation and births of change, this is a very important area. And if women would just become brave and be willing to have the hard, tough conversations in saying, let me empower myself to know and understand my body, what I like, what I don't like, who I am, what I can allow, what I do not allow inside of my body. A lot of relationships are going to change for the better. And I'm going to say something controversial because this is the way you know me, but I teach my clients, my female clients, that you are responsible for your sexual wellness. You are responsible for your orgasm, not your partner. You are responsible for your sexual pleasure, not your partner. Because I know you and I have had many discussions, and I remember we once had a discussion where I took the aardbolletjie and we spoke about when I give my power away and when I take my power back. We had that exercise, and sexual empowerment is exactly the same.
Same level.
Women tend to believe in fairy tales, and we've got this obsession that the knight in shining armor or with his gold amarok bakkie must come and save us. And it's an ingrained pattern for eons that we have in our subconscious, saying a man must come and save me, a man must please me, a man must pleasure me. And yes, all fair enough and very nice, but what if you do not know who you are and you do not understand how your body works, and you meet a partner and this man also is not empowered or knows and understands his body or your body for that matter? How is this sexual connection going to grow?
No, it's not.
So the first thing that I teach my clients when they enter the practice and we are going on a journey of sexual wellness is, if you don't even know what you want and what you like, how can you explain this or expect this from your partner? So again, we need to, and I'm not a feminist. I know I look like one, but I'm not. I am a true believer in the archetype male-female energy. I love it. I love the man and the woman that comes together, and it's just the way that it's been intended. But women are not taking responsibility for their sexual wellness. They are saying it is my partner's
Job.
defect for not giving me pleasure or making me excited. So I am not enthusiastic about the bedroom because my partner does not know what he wants. It's not true.
But isn't it a good thing if a female should say? Because you guys are all wired differently.
Yes, we are.
So some girls would like to be kissed.
Yes.
Others would like to be hugged.
Yes.
Tell your partner, this is what I want.
People cannot even have normal conversations in a relationship. To say,
let alone-
don't put your toothbrush there.
Yeah.
Put the toilet seat down.
Down.
Jou onderbroek lê langs die wasgoedmandjie. They cannot even have normal conversations. How are we going to expect them to have conversations about sex?
Maybe we should start a course at your center, calling it How to Talk Sex with Your Partner.
It's important.
It's important.
It's important. If I can just get the message across, to communicate in such a way that both partners can hear one another, will open up a whole new world of possibilities in your relationship. And my granny, she's passed a long time ago. She used to say to me, it's not what you say, my child, it's how you say it. And sex is an art. It's something that you need to learn. Birth is an art. You have to be taught how to birth a baby. I have got so many clients who have come to me after they've birthed and they're telling me the birth was a nightmare. Yes, it was a nightmare because you were sent to the war zone without education. You were sent to the war zone without training. We need to understand that, yes, it's a natural thing and nature intended it to be that way, but you need guidance. And you need empowerment and you need education in understanding it. As a woman, let me tell you, I'm not scum. Every week of your cycle, of your monthly cycle, changes the chemistry in your body. Sex is not the same in any week.
Sure. Makes
You
sense.
are married. Praat uit die
Makes
kamer
sense.
uit, laat ons hoor.
Nee.
I have to tell my partner on a weekly basis what worked last week. Sorry,
It's not
not
working
working
this
now. We must try something else.
That's-
Because I'm in tune with my body and I have learned to listen to her and we have a relationship with one another and I can now communicate what is important for me. And now I am enthusiastic because my partner can hear me and my partner and I can actively participate in this process of growing together in a sexual way.
Aldi, that is exactly why guys say, my wife does not understand me. It's actually the other way around. It's the guy not understanding his wife.
But
Because you guys change on a weekly basis.
Do you know there's a joke? It's a thick book
Yeah,
at the bookstore
How
that
to
says
understand
how to understand women, and when you open it, it's empty. We don't even understand ourselves most of the time.
Yeah.
It's important that a woman takes responsibility for her happiness and to understand who she is and what's important to her and what she wants, and then to communicate that through to the partner and vice versa. My father says a man only needs 4 things to be happy. And he always says, and your mother has got a list of 68 requirements. And this is how it is.
Yeah.
We need to understand that as a woman, I'm not saying don't hold men accountable. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying a lot of times we are unreasonable. Yes, I'm saying it on camera. But a woman can be unreasonable in expecting a man to smell what's going on with her. I had a client in the practice this week, amazing girl. She's 28, 29, married 7 years. Her husband and her go for couples therapy once a week, once in 2 weeks. They don't have marital problems. They just, from a young age, decided they will go for this and grow in their marriage. And she says they discovered very early on that her husband cannot read her cues.
Okay.
Okay, so the psychologist said, okay, so make peace now that he can't read your cues and tell him what you want. And she said she had to learn. It was hard for her to tell him, you need to hold me now, I need a hug. You need to come sit with me now, we need to hold hands and you need to give me a kiss. I need you to now go and make me a
Some
nice
tea.
bath. Yes. We as women have this thing in our brain that the man must just instinctively know what we want. It doesn't work that way. A relationship is a very intricate system. I remember I once went to a marriage counselor. He was very good and he drew an umbrella. And as he did it, he said, a relationship is a living, breathing entity that must be serviced on a regular basis.
That makes sense.
Very powerful. Powerful stuff. And yes, if you are not emotionally connected to your partner, a woman is not as inclined to be enthusiastic in the bedroom.
Yeah.
If you are being verbally abused, if you do not feel appreciated by your partner, it will have an effect on the way that you view your intimate life, and it will have an effect on your enthusiasm, but it goes both ways.
For sure.
The same, you're a man. I mean, I can't speak on your behalf.
One should also, and I always say this, men, like women, also differs.
Yes.
There's males that tend to have sex and done.
Yes.
Others would roll over and sleep.
Yes. Yes.
So there's also difference.
This is a very important point you are touching. So let's talk about birth. Right. So birth has a cycle that needs to complete. So you go into labor and then you birth the baby. Then we must do the birth curve. We must put the baby on you. It's called the golden hour after birth so that the oxytocin releases in the brain and breastfeeding can take place. The sexual act is the same. There's a circle, there's a cycle that has to be continued and that has to be completed for the right endorphins to actually release.
Happen, yeah.
Yeah. So it's again important that we unfortunately do the research and understand the anatomy of our bodies. Understand the process of the sexual act. If you want to be in heaven by 11, you must start at 7. And then, as you say, what happens after the orgasm has been reached? After that, say 20, 30 minutes after, is when the oxytocin is actually released. And that is when the partners hold one another. That is when the brain chemicals actually released and the bonding hormone, which is oxytocin, gets released into the bloodstream and makes you more loving and attractive towards your partner. So I would encourage the men and the women out there to really go and do research. You can come and visit the practice and get a preek eerstehands, or go and do your research and really make it a point to understand your own body
And your
partner's body, and then learn to speak, to talk to one another in a loving way. And just hearing the other person's needs, listening to what they are saying, and also listening to what they're not saying.
That's the read between the lines.
Very, very powerful.
We'll talk about that and more next week, right here on Beyond Wellness with Aldila Geldenhuys.